This week we sail from Jura to Loch Spelve on the Isle of Mull. We finally get that dolphin footage we've been dreaming of, eat some fresh mussels and paddle in the river. Hi, we're Dave and Jude, and we sold up our home and left our jobs and our lives behind to live on board our sailboat, Anamcara. Since leaving Portsmouth on the south coast of the UK, we've had quite an adventure, visiting wild Atlantic islands, Irish pubs, spotting whales and watching motorsports. We're embracing life and all that it has to offer. Come with us as we continue to sail north and explore the UK's magnificent coastline all the way up to the Scottish Islands and beyond. We'll be exploring the lochs of Scotland and the Hebridean Islands and discover the wildlife and communities on the way. We have new videos out every Saturday, so make sure you subscribe to avoid missing an episode.
So we are just getting ready to leave. Dave's getting up the anchor and I will be on the helm. We are planning, I think, to go up to the Mull. There's a loch on there, I can't remember what it's called right now, but that's where we're planning on heading. There is a hurricane going up past America in the next few days, and that is potentially going to hit the UK a little bit with some strong winds and rain. Obviously not fully at all in any comparison to how it'll be. Well, it should just be hitting the sea anyway, but we might get some after effects of it. So we're planning on trying to get into a marina for that time. We do need to get some more fuel, top up our water tanks, various bits like that, so it'll be good timing anyway. So we're heading up to hopefully explore some of that before we have to tuck into a marina. Anyway, I need to go onto the helm. So we're about 10 metres off where the anchor should be, so we're getting closer. Hopefully behind me you can see the mountains. They're getting a bit cloudy right now. Oh, and we're right on top of it, so I suspect we're coming free in a minute. Dave's wondering who I'm talking to. Spun around quite nicely, to be fair, so I'll have a straight shot out to sea past the boat.
Caught a rock.
Oh no! We've caught a rock.
Quite a big rock.
Is it on the anchor?
Yeah.
Oh. Are we free? Should I engage the stern? So Dave was just saying he's caught a rock, but we are loose, so I'm still on the helm. It's quite a big rock. Do you want this? Because I'm plugged in. And it's still filming. Might be quite awkward.
Excuse any noise from moving the mic there. Right, so going to take you forward and show you what we've caught. Uh-oh, just had a bit of a wobble there. So, here's the anchor with a nice giant rock just wedged in it perfectly. I'm not really sure how to deal with this because obviously I'll have to lift the rock out. There's no way to lift the anchor. We tried that with a boat hook last time in Cornwall and it didn't work at all. So I think I'm just going to have to hope that that seaweed is attached to it really well and pull on the seaweed maybe. But we'll see. I'll update you put the camera back because that would be a disaster if we lose the GoPro and the mics and all of that stuff. So, right, so mischief managed with the rock. Luckily the seaweed was relatively strong, so the first two bits I grabbed and pulled just ripped off, but the third piece I grabbed was pretty strong and it just nudged the rock enough and pushed it over. The rock was about a foot across square, so when it splashed, it really did splash. So I'll hand this to Jude, who can show a bit of the carnage that we've had. I'm now pretty wet all down my legs. But at least we got it sorted. In hindsight, I should have gone and grabbed the GoPro with the clamp mount and filmed that for you, so apologies for that. That would have been really good footage. We're just not that good at YouTube, apparently. Always think about these things afterwards, but such is life. So today we're leaving Loch Tarbert on Jura, and we're headed towards Loch Spelve or Spelve. Not sure how it's supposed to be said, and I did look and I couldn't find any source explaining it properly, so I will probably use them interchangeably today, and I'll probably annoy some Scottish people, but apologies.
Spelve is what everyone said.
A lot of people say Spelve as well. I will probably stick to Spelve because it feels right to me, but we'll see. I might say it differently. But yeah, Scottish people, if you want these things pronounced right, make a website and show us how to speak. Jude thinks that's rude, but yeah, I just wish everything had a pronunciation guide so that we could get it right first time. So yeah, it's not a very nice day. It's very low cloud today. It's much windier than the forecast. All night it was very blowy. The forecast was for 4 knots of wind, gusting to 8, and it felt like a force 5. So we're not sure what we're expecting. The water is flat, but we're in a loch and it's blowing outwards, so it might be rough when we're out there. It might not. We'll just have to see what we get. We're going to put the sails up shortly now that we've got the anchor sorted, and going to put full sail up. I don't think it's that windy, but we might end up having to reef. So yeah, we'll see what we get. Well, we're sailing. We always say that we don't sail enough, and that's often true. We're not having the conditions to do what we want to do. Today we have just about got the conditions to sail properly, so we have got full sail up, Genoa and the main. We did have a couple of reefs in the Genoa because we thought the wind was going to build as we turned into it. But it seems like the overall wind is dropping, so we've rolled those reefs out. We were sailing at about 5.4, I think, knots. That's now dropped to 4, but we're just gently drifting along past the Isle of Jura, which is an absolutely epic landscape to be sailing past. Unfortunately, the clouds have come down to meet the land today, so it's a bit misty rain, and but it's bright enough that you can sort of tell it's summery. It's warm enough that it's sort of summery. We're a bit chilly, but it's fine. The water's completely flat here because there's no fetch. It's all coming from the side here where the land is, so completely flat right now. It might get a bit rougher as we cross over to Mull, which is where we're going, which is directly ahead of us. And once we get there, there's, I don't know, 10 miles of fetch across the water. So we'll see what happens there. But for right now, it's completely flat. It's one of those weird days with sailing where one minute you're worried that you're going to have to reef, the next minute you're worried there's not enough wind. Then you're thinking of motoring, and then the wind builds back up again a bit. It's just the nature of sailing, really, and you've got to keep watching it just in case, because obviously we don't want to spend 12 hours on this passage. It's only 10 or 15 miles, but at the same time we really don't want to put the motor on. We've used half a tank of fuel since we left Rue, which is quite impressive, really. We've done a fair bit of motoring, and we think it's partly due to the Scrubbies cleaner that I cleaned the hull off in Rue on one side and a bit on the other side from standing on deck, and then when we went to Tarbert for a week, I cleaned off the other side fairly thoroughly, and then when we stopped at Gear, I dived on the hull and it was pretty clean from the scrubby, but then I also cleaned off the rudder and bits that I just couldn't reach. And I don't know if I've mentioned, I also cleaned the area around the speed sensor. So now we've got boat speed again, which is nice. We can see on the GPS, on the plotter, what tidal effect we've got. So yesterday we were doing 9 knots and over the ground and 6 knots through the water. And it's good to know those things so that you know how fast the actual boat is going through the water for sail trim and stuff. Anyway, rambling on again. It looks like it's brightening up. It feels like the wind is building a little bit. But other than that, it's just a very calm, meandering sort of a day. We're just watching a fishing boat go back and forth, picking up lobster pots. Yeah. Yep. We are motoring again. So, as I said earlier, the wind was dying off. It has completely died off. So we've still got the main up, but it's not doing anything. It's just flapping in the wind. All of the flags are just drooping uselessly, and you can see behind me the water is just glassy smooth. So there's no chance of sailing today, which is frustrating again, but it just shows it's not. When you imagine the Scottish Islands, you think of rough seas and bad weather, and it's just not like that up here. It's actually quite nice most of the time that we've seen it. I'm sure it does get stormy, obviously, but while we've been up here, it's mostly been fairly calm seas, light winds. There was a storm, Jude's just remind me. But yeah, most of the time it's like this, and it's just really frustrating and calm that there's no sailing. I did see a couple of dolphins behind a minute ago. That's the most action we've seen all day. It's just landscape going past, but it's quite pretty, so sort of don't mind it. We just had some lunch of scrambled eggs and toasted wraps, like fajita type wraps, and ketchup, because I'm a grown-up. So yeah, just a bit of an update, really.
Look ahead, the sea is calm, and I know we've been through a lot, but just wait. Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn.
It's about time, you guys!
So we're just getting ready to enter Loch Spelve. It's a very tight entrance and we nearly missed it, to be honest. It just was suddenly there, which I'll show you in a second. We've had quite a good trip. We did end up having to motor a bit of it, but we had a nice sail at the beginning. We then had some dolphins. That was very exciting. I feel like I'm fully fulfilled now with our trip. That's it, it's over. Let's go down south of England. I've seen everything I need to. No, obviously there's I mean, I've got blue skies in this shot. It's quite a good direction. It is looking blue skied again. So earlier, well, actually probably not on camera, but I had to get out a woolly hat because I was a bit cold. Put that on Instagram at the time. But it's now the blue skies behind us, but that's towards Kerrer and Oban, and then we've got Fort William up, but right behind us the loch and Ben Nevis and all of that skyline behind. So I'll just do a bit of a visual and you can see that now. I've been trying to film for the last couple of minutes and there's car after car after car. I think it might be home time here. So we've arrived in Loch Spelve. We dropped the anchor and hoisted the dinghy out onto the water. Hoisted onto water? Not really sure of the words. And our dinghy engine wouldn't start, so Dave had to clear the carburetors once again. But that's all working now.
This time it was self-inflicted though. Last time I took it apart, I put some grease on the fuel tap and that grease just went straight into the carburetor, so that's on me.
Yeah, well, shit happens. Oh wait, car coming, sorry. So anyway, we've come to shore now, so very nicely we've spoken to a couple of people and they were all very nice. We were allowed to tie a dinghy up onto the Mull's pontoon, the fisherman pontoon. So in Loch Spelve there's lots of marine farms, so So as part of that farm they have a pontoon and they allowed us to tie a dinghy up, so we did that. We then went in to get some mulls, and we've got 2 kilos of mulls for £2.50, which is really good price. So that's our foraging done for the day. And we were told about that by a Scotch couple we met previously, so that was nice, and we got those. We've now gone for a bit of a wander, so we've been told to go out, do some left turning, see a sign, ignore the sign, and then we get to the river, and then you can walk along and follow the river along for a little bit. And apparently it's all very nice, so we're doing that, although we haven't come prepared for that, and I'm wearing Crocs and Dave's wearing his boat shoes, and there's another car, so I will leave it at that.
Yesterday was an unexpectedly interesting day, I guess. We, all the way through the trip, you'll have seen we were talking about the wind was fine at first and then died off, and it was very boring for the 6-hour motor. And then the dolphins appeared, and there were, I don't know, 20, 30, maybe 40 dolphins all playing around. We finally got some good footage of dolphins for the first time on the trip. It's not the first time we've seen them, but it's the first time they were playing around the bows and allowing us to get decent footage. And then we carried on, and as we were coming into Loch Spelve, we saw 2 white-tailed eagles. Never seen those before in real life. That was pretty special. Then there was a seal, and then we went ashore to get some mussels for dinner from the Honesty Box in the Lussa Mussels, I think it's called. And then we saw a load of deer in a field, all just sitting around staring at us, which was also pretty cool. Yeah, incredible day. And then we came back and cooked the mussels on board, the freshest mussels that we've ever had. They literally 100 yards over that way. They took them to shore and then we picked them up. So really quite a special dinner that we had. Pretty basic. We didn't actually have all the ingredients that we'd normally use for mussels, so we made do with what we had, but yeah, really good. And today we are going for a walk up the Lussa River, and just to get off the boat for a bit. We've been sailing and anchoring every day for 3 days now, and before that we did a trip over to Isla, so feels like we've been pretty hectic. So we're going to take a day out and just relax and walk up the river, and then probably hang out on the boat and stay here for another night. So yeah, we'll see how the day goes.
We have just started our walk, heading to River Lussa, as Dave said earlier, and initially we have to walk along this road that we walked along yesterday, which is weirdly very busy. It's like it won't be a minute before another car passes, but it's good anyway. We are already walking along the river, and this is where we saw the deers yesterday, so we're hoping we can get a proper shot of them if they're still there, or, well, there's some cows at least I can see. But we'll give you a bit of a panoramic of what we can see. So we just got to another road on our walk and a car turned in and there was just a peacock in the middle of the road. It's like we're just adding even more, and now they're turning around, so I'm not even sure what they're doing. We'll insert a photo here, hopefully. Dave will do that, and you can see it.
Thanks for watching, and please join us next week when we sail to Tobermory in the north of the island. We managed to get shots of those white-tailed eagles we mentioned as we leave Loch Spelve.